everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, July 20th, 2025. Damian is dead! Death by dagger! In the back! A dagger actually flew through the air from a mystery hand in the maze, and it spun around and landed square in his back, killing him instantly. No need for resuscitation. Don't even try, don't even bother. Dead on impact by a skilled knife thrower. Like whoever did it must have been a professional knife thrower with the carnival or something. Sally Spectra, I'm looking at you. That seemed like a carny trick to me. No, Sally couldn't possibly have done it. We've ruled her out. She's just on vacation. Well, that was quite an unexpected twist. That was so unexpected that Y&R had to bust out the previously on The Young and the Restless just to make sure that absolutely everyone was up to speed. They said, we want to make sure everyone sees this, and most of you see it twice. We have not had the previously on The Young and the Restless in years. It was styled to the old intro style, like with the lady in the black and white dress coming into the camera, gown sweeping over the floor, beautiful black and white. But Y&R must have not even made one of those for the current Genoa City skyline intro. So they had to dust off one out of the archives for the special occasion. And special it was. Oh, it is not every day that we get that level of shock. I mean, I would never in a million years have guessed that Damian would have been being wheeled out of that maze on a stretcher. No. But that being said, I'm all for it. I'm totally happy with this twist. And I love Damian. And I think Jermaine Rivers is amazing. I think he was, Jermaine Rivers and the character of Damian were fantastic additions to the show. I feel like Jermaine Rivers brought a ton of personality to that character, and I was all in on him and Amy and his relationship with his long-lost brother, Nate. And yet still, I am 100% okay with his death because as great as he was, it was worth it. This shocking twist was worth it. That's what I'm in for. That's why I'm here. And plus, with him only having been with the show since February, that's only 5 months. That's only 5 months that he's been with the show. So that's actually the perfect amount of time for us to get to know someone, feel comfortable with them, and then boom, shocking twist. It's fine. It's fine with me. Now, bringing back Cole after 25 years just to kill him? No. I'm not okay with that. But 5 months on Y&R, as much as I love Damian was eligible to die. I guess anyone's eligible to die anytime in soap operas, but hey, I don't know. Maybe we can just do a double funeral. Damian and Cole, 2 side-by-side caskets for the price of 1. Let me just back up and give you the blow. The Y&R Chat recap of my version of the previously on The Young and the Restless. So, okay, Kane wants Lily. Lily wants Damian. Damian and Lily hook up. I mean, the train choo-chooed through the tunnel just hours before he died. At least he died happy. He died still with the afterglow. And it was with that afterglow that Lily and Damian entered the maze. Kane sees them. Lily basically tells Kane, Damian and I are together now. Deal with it. And Kane says, fine. I'll be gracious. Come on, Damian. Let's go for a walk through the maze together. And I'll share a drink with you from my private stash. Special extra expensive drink. So they're walking and talking and drinking. And Kane is saying, it's cool. Just be good to Lily. I want you to be good to her better than I was. And by the time they come out of the maze, Damian is feeling woozy. And then Kane starts to feel a little woozy. But Damian's way worse. And then they both panic, realizing that the bottle of liquor must have been drugged. So they stand up to get the heck out of there. Damian kind of staggers in front of Kane, and then the dagger flies in from this mystery gloved hand in the maze, and then all of a sudden, that close-up of Damian's face. I screen capped it. It was just like, he was shocked, I was shocked. I could feel the whole collective shock of all the viewers. It was a shocking moment. And then Damian kind of falls into Kane's arms and then onto the ground. I mean, that is the kind of surprise twist that made me keep watching the show. This is what makes me love soaps. I mean, I will speculate about the stories week after week for 17 years, but then occasionally something comes along that I just never would have seen coming, and this was one of those moments. I would have never seen this coming, and it just delights the heck out of me. Phyllis comes around the corner practically the second that Damian hits the ground. So she effectively saw that Kane couldn't have done it unless he did. But he wouldn't have been able to just reach around and stab Damian in the back from the front. That's what Phyllis saw. So Phyllis has that valuable perspective. But while Kane and Phyllis were running around trying to find some help, the murderer came back, disposed of the liquor bottle and the knife, and then the dagger, the knife, ended up being planted in Nick's room, like under his sink. He goes to fix a leaky sink in the train car room, and boom, bloody dagger in a baggie. And all of a sudden, we have a real whodunit on our hands, complete with frame up. The only thing that honestly just feels a little disappointing to me is that I know it's Carter. We know it's Carter. It's Carter. Come on. It's the creepy assistant. There's no stakes of pinning it all on that guy. I mean, I don't think we're going to pin anything on any of our main characters. That guy is it's him. It's him. Phyllis was calling his name in the maze. just moments before the murder happened. Carter! And everyone was saying that the maze shifted right before it happened. I mean, nobody from the Genoa City crew was out in the middle of the night magically moving organic hedgerows. I don't even know how the heck a maze could possibly shift. But then in the previews, Carter is there twice. First, he's getting questioned by Victor, and then he's putting Nick under house arrest. Don't you mean train arrest, first of all? Carter, why don't you go ahead and leave the investigation to the professionals, nerd? Chance is launching an official investigation in his unofficial capacity. And he's questioning all the usual suspects, which is tough to sit through when we know darn well the creepy assistant did it. And the only real question that Chance needs to answer is why. Why did the creepy assistant do it? But Kane has offered Chance a $500,000 paycheck for solving the mystery, which is real ethical, considering Kane is a suspect too. Just because Kane was with Damian when it happened doesn't mean that he couldn't have offered his carny assistant, his apparent professional, Carter, whose previous job was with the circus, or the local carnival, the French carnival. It doesn't, just because Kane didn't put the knife in doesn't mean he couldn't have told Carter to do it. You know, he could have given Carter $500,000 to throw the knife. Chance is going to figure all this out, take his $500,000 and go away. That's how Chance exits the show. He's going to take the money and go. He's going to be like, all right, I solved the mystery. I got my $500,000. Bye. But Kane is insisting that the poisoning and the knife, all of it, was meant for him. He believes that Damian was in the wrong place at the wrong time, which seems to be the most widely accepted theory. There are other theories. There's suspicion of Kane, of course. But, I mean, there is something fishy about the fact that Kane predicted this. You know, I don't still understand what made Kane think someone was out to get him in the first place and why. That doesn't make any sense, and I don't know if that's meant to be revealed later on down the road, or if all of that was just explaining the logic of why Chance would have been invited to the party in the first place. Now, Lily thinks Kane did it. Lily thinks that Kane killed Damian because if I can't have her, no one can. Well, that's a little bit self-centered of you, Lily. Don't you think? Just a little bit. You've been dating Damian for 5 minutes, and Kane just found out about it 5 minutes ago. Do you really think that he flew into a jealous rage and arranged a quickie maze murder in front of everyone? How would he even have had time to do that? I don't know. I wonder if maybe Carter is obsessed with Kane. Maybe he's in love with him and just wants anything that Kane wants. And so therefore, he wanted Damian out of the way to make his master happy. I mean, he said in the previews that he would do anything for Mr. Dumas. What a creep. If it doesn't turn out to him, then he's the greatest red herring. And if it doesn't turn out to be Carter, then maybe Amanda did it, because she's been a creep too. And on Friday, Kane and Chance went into the surveillance room trying to see if they got any of this caught on America's Funniest Home Videos. But guess what? The tapes were erased. Right at the exact moment of the murder, the tapes were erased. Well, Kane said there's only two people other than him that have access to that room, that surveillance room, and it's Carter and Amanda. I think Amanda's the red herring. But Amanda seems to think straight up Kane killed Damian because she knows what he's capable of. And she's thinking that she's about to have to defend him in a murder trial or something. She thinks he did it, and she's going to have to defend him. Phyllis does not agree. Phyllis thinks that, that Kane's innocent. And that's putting her at odds with Amanda. And it's putting her at odds with Nick. And so then there is Nick. So Nick thinks that Kane is setting him up because Victor wouldn't sell Chancellor Industries to him. Like, this is all somehow tied back to his own father. And I'm like, no, Nick. Sorry, Nick. No. If anything, you're the one that got set up because you're the biggest hothead in the bunch, and everyone knows it, including the assistant. Audra really knows how to grieve and do it right. The right way to grieve. The obviousness, the sheer obviousness of Audra showing up at Kyle's train car door while he's sipping his morning coffee, fresh out of the shower, wearing only a towel wrapped around his waist. Could that towel have been any lower? And could the tuck of the towel have been any more appropriately placed? Let me tell you, I screen capped a whole lot of screen caps of Kyle in that towel. And then I said to myself, no, Allie, I need to edit myself to keep this family friendly. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I got so many screen caps of Kyle in that towel and then second guessed myself and didn't post them. That's how salacious they were. I said, I have to have some standards. There was 2 at least that were real good, and I had to pull myself back. No, family friendly, family friendly. This whole thing just tickles me to no end. It tickles my little soapy heart with soap bubbles. Little soap bubbles tickling my heart. I mean, Audra said, it's like, oh, Kyle, Damian's been murdered, and you're the only one I feel safe with. Oh. And the fact that he just fell for it, the fact that he just fell right into this, the fact that he has been so easily led. I mean, it's what, at this point, a couple of days away from his girlfriend, maybe a week in showtime. It's been maybe a week. And he's totally boinking Audra. If he hasn't boinked Audra, he's gonna. He's gonna. That took no time at all. And it doesn't surprise me coming from Audra, because I've always felt like Audra and Nate were temporary. I mean, they're fine and they're good and they're cute and everything, but they weren't presented as some enduring love story. Kyle and Claire's love story, on the other hand, has received so much attention. The star-crossed lovers from the Newman and the Abbott family, it's so classic. They were sweethearts. And Claire has this incredible connection to Kyle's son even. So for Kyle to just boink it away so easily because Audra is just so irresistible, I mean, it's soapy in all the right ways. I don't even mind it. It's like, you know, I see all the ridiculousness of it, and I don't even mind it. I'm not offended in the least. Because it's just so good. But, you know, I do feel for Nate. Big surprise, I'm thinking about Nate and how he's going to feel. I mean, not only is he going to have to find out that his brother is dead, but, you know, he's going to be the one that has to break the news to Amy. And then eventually he's going to find out that his girlfriend cheated on him, too. Or will he? Maybe what happens in Nice stays in Nice. If you need a maze buddy, just ask. Who said it? I just thought it was such a cute little line. Everybody's in the maze. Can we get through it? Oh no, it's shifted. What's going on with the maze? How do we get where we're going? Oh boy, we found our way. Oh no, I didn't find my way. I'm lost again. I thought I knew it, then I didn't know it. If you need a maze buddy, just ask. Who said it? If you want to find out, you can go to yrchat.com to reveal the answer. Also at yrchat.com was last week's poll results. Billy versus Jack. Who's right? I don't feel surprised here. 83% pick Jack. Agree that Jack is right in the debate between them. 17% picking Billy. Marianne V says, I think Jack is right. Billy is obsessed with getting Chancellor away from Victor. He doesn't even know if Kane wants to work with him, but he doesn't care that he's promised Sally and Jack that he wasn't going after Victor anymore. He can't help himself. You know, that's a really good point, Marianne V. Billy hasn't had a one-on-one conversation with Kane. Everyone else has at least got a meeting, and Billy's the only one who hasn't. They did come face-to-face in the maze this week, but it was after the murder, and it was more about Kane defending himself. So Billy is really gambling his whole future on Kane helping him get Chancellor Industries back. And Kane could be going to jail for murder now, and Billy doesn't even seem to mind. He's totally okay to be mixed up in this nonsense. He's completely convinced that Kane is somehow going to help him get Chancellor Industries back, or that it's going to happen. And it's this huge blind spot for him, and Jack knows it. Timothy says Jack is right. Billy's obsession with Victor is consuming his life, and it will cost him Sally if he keeps this up. Well, yeah. Sally doesn't seem to mind, though. Sally is off taking a swim while there is a murderer on the loose. Man, Sally has been infinitely patient in all of this, and now she's going to be the last to know that there was a murder. Heather K says Jack is right. Billy made promises for a new beginning, trying to prove to everyone that he has the talent, drive, and determination to launch his own company. He promised his brother that this was a new venture and was not about retaliation. When Jack confronted him, Billy was smug and egotistical. He decided that Jack, who funded the entire company for him, should roll over and accept anything Billy wanted to do and say. I am so glad Jack threatened to stop the money. You know, I was really hoping there would be more on this Jack versus Billy confrontation. I'm fascinated. I want more Jack. I like this. I like the conflict between Jack and Billy, and I like that Jack is I agree, I think Jack is right. But I like that Billy's flaming out in this way, specifically in this way, because it confronts Jack's past nature. It forces Jack to confront his own past actions and wanting the constant retaliation against Victor no matter what it cost him. It's a great setup for a storyline that accesses historical storylines. I would like to see more of that, honestly, and less of Kane. Naomi says, I will try to argue for Billy's sake, just to see if he has any standing in the argument. Okay. Jack himself takes risks in these battles. Didn't he and Diane take a huge risk when they faked their problems and told lies to get Kyle to renounce Victor? Then they applauded themselves about their risk paying off, yet Billy isn't allowed to take a risk to get Chancellor back. Billy is exhausting, but Jack isn't much better when it's about undercutting Victor. Yes, Naomi, yes. And that's why this has all the makings of a good story. It's all baked in. All the past, all the present, all of Billy's habits, bad habits, all of Jack's evolutions. It's all thrown into a casserole dish, and Y&R isn't really giving it enough time to bake. Tony says, from the standpoint of a soap viewer, I voted Billy. Jack is not a risk taker. Soaps need to see those risks. Succeed, fail. The journey is why I'm watching Billy. I love him to be close to a deadline and miss it. I love him to pour his heart out and just when no one is listening, Please, Billy, go save Victoria. It will distract you from your business goals. You will fail, but you will get the girl. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Maybe Sally and Billy break up and Billy and Nate and Victoria become the new triangle. That's interesting. But I like what you're saying. From the standpoint of the soap viewer, this is where the juicy action is. I wanted more of it. I honestly could have stood to have more Damian too. He was becoming so soft in the end. I mean, he was really so anything you want, Lily. That it was getting a little much. I don't think I would have continued to feel as passionate about him if he had continued on that trajectory. But while we had him, he was amazing. Victoria says Jermaine Rivers is an amazing, nuanced actor who elevated each scene he shot. Yes, Victoria, thank you for mentioning that. Definitely got to send out some love to Jermaine Rivers because he did a great job on Y&R. The Damian character had loads of potential. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you just get cut. What are you going to do? But he made the most with everything he had. I did look up, to find out what he had to say about all this. And Jermaine said he knew Damian was dead before they started filming all of the France scenes. And they've been in France for what, a month now? So he knew it was coming even as he's sitting on the train car playing cards with Lily. He knows this is all leading to his character's death. And of course he was very gracious about, I appreciated my time on Y&R. I really tried to bring a lot to my scenes, and it is clear that he did. So thank you, Victoria, for bringing that up, and happy birthday! You are days away from a birthday. July 21st. No, tomorrow. Tomorrow's your birthday. I hope you have a beautiful birthday, Victoria. It's always so nice reading your comments. Oh, let's see. Hopefully you'll have a birthday quiche. A birthday quiche and an expensive bottle of bourbon that is not poisoned. Okay, so for this week, and coming off of the last poll question, I think we need a new poll question that addresses whether or not you think Kane was involved in Damian's death. Now, I don't know if all that's going to be revealed by the end of the week and the poll becomes moot, but I am curious to get as many votes as I can for today and tomorrow and Tuesday. And you tell me, do you think Kane was involved? Now, I don't mean he necessarily stabbed him in the back, but could he have had it done? Could he have arranged it? Did he have any hand in Damian's death? YRChat.com. That's the poll question of the week. Diana says, has anyone bothered to ask Kane why he thinks someone is trying to kill him? Kane keeps talking about how he believes someone is out to kill him and that's why he hired Chance. But not one single character has asked the most obvious question that all of them would be asking, which is, what makes Kane think that? Wouldn't you be curious as to why someone thinks that someone wants to kill them? I find these parts of the storyline very frustrating and annoying at this point, as it's so unrealistic that no one would ask Kane why. Did someone try to kill you before? Did something happen? What indication has Chance had to make him think this? I think Kane is what you mean. Better yet, why hasn't Chance the detective asked this question? It's very silly. Oh, you're so right, Diana. I mean, is Kane just uber paranoid? Or is there an actual legitimate reason? I mean, maybe he's had other threats and it was Carter or something. I don't know. I don't think it was about Kane. I think Carter killed Damian because he wanted to serve Kane. He wanted to get Damian out of the way because that would make Kane happy. Maybe he's going to come back and go, Well, master, I thought that's what you wanted me to do. I thought you wanted me to get him out of the way so you could have your lady. I mean, if Amanda knew how much Cain wanted Lily, then maybe Carter knew it too, and he just took it upon himself to facilitate it. That way, too, Lily can remain mad at Cain, but not too mad because he didn't technically have anything to do with it. I don't know. Brent says Chance now knows that there is a way on and off the property. He knows that Cain has used it to go to Genoa City and quickly return. So therefore, he also knows that there's no reason the local cops in Nice can't have access to the property in the crime scene. And he knows Cain, for some reason, is covering up this info. So what are you doing, Chance? You have your most urgent lead. Stop everything else and follow up on it. Now, I don't think Cain did it, but still, that's a good point. Cain has withheld the fact that there is a way on and off this property, and that right there makes him the number one suspect, and yet Chance wants to sit around and entertain the thought that Nick actually did it? Come on. Victoria says the murder/slumber of Damian is a planned distraction on Cain's part to keep Genoa City's top business executives in Nice. Cain needs to give Holden more time to ingratiate himself with the people on the list. Also, more time to buy up Genoa City and hopefully get Cain a building to house his office. I like that, Victoria. I like that a lot, that this is all a distraction on Cain's part to buy more time in Nice so that whatever he's got going on in Genoa City can start to flourish. I'm kind of wanting to get back to Genoa City. I love the train. I love it. I do love it. I have enjoyed, and I praise Y&R for this beautiful train set, for the beautiful maze. This has all been wonderful, but I do feel like one more week should do it. I'll be good. I'll be ready to go home after one more week. Gary asks, is this all Cain's test for Phyllis to prove that she's really loyal? Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good question too. If Cain is a suspect, then could he have planted the knife in Nick's car as a test for Phyllis? And she, I believe, mentioned that to him too, and of course he's going to deny it. Whether or not he planted it, that's exactly what it has become. Whether or not that was the intended purpose, it has certainly put Phyllis in a position where she has to defend Cain and Nick kind of at the same time. But it's been wonderful having her and Sharon trying to figure it out in the meantime. Daisy says, I think Cain set up Nick to prevent Victor from going back home, as he'd want to stay and help his son. And then Cain, maybe Caleb, can continue to take what he wants in Genoa City without interference. But he doesn't know about Adam, who may already have a plan in place for the unsuspecting Cain. Yes, Daisy, that's true. Cain doesn't know that Adam was on the property. Phyllis kept that little nugget under her hat. So it's entirely possible that Adam is going to end up being Cain's foil in Genoa City. Ooh, I like that. How about this? Sue W. says, I don't buy that Cain is behind Damian's murder. So then, who? Okay, seems to me that Amanda's whole working for Dumas return has been odd. Today, she's thinking Cain could be the killer, but doing her job to make others think not. Maybe Amanda threw the dagger at Cain because she wants him for herself. Maybe they slept together, but he wants Lily. And that, on top of the Devon/Abby affair, has driven Amanda bonkers. Or maybe I'm bonkers. But oh well, I just want the killer to be someone other than the random weirdo Carter. Random weirdo. I agree. 100%, Sue W. If it's not Carter, it's Amanda. She's weird. And I could almost see Y&R. If not Carter, I could see Y&R bringing Amanda on, letting her have this crazy revenge, and then Michelle Morgan exiting off the show for a couple of years to go to her psychiatric ward or whatever it is. She can always come back in the future. That's what I think. Top suspects, Carter. Number 2 is Amanda, but that's my opinion. T. Nicole says, I don't think Kane or Nick or any of the invited guests killed Damian. I first thought it could be Carter, the butler, but that seems too boring. I saw another chatter mention this, and I agree. I think it could be Amanda. I don't remember fully, but when Damian was killed, wasn't she and Lily done talking, and Lily was alone wondering where Damian was? Amanda knows the maze backwards and forwards and has access. She went right into lawyer mode, and no one is suspecting the lawyer, but more so Carter. Otherwise, this is far more far-fetched, but would Holden fly out and kill Damian and then fly back to Genoa City? But I'm going with Amanda as the killer. I think it's also fun if it's Amanda. Did she was intentionally kill Damian for Kane without Kane knowing, or is she secretly wanting revenge on Kane? Amanda has been, as Allie mentioned before, a little creepy in those bushes, and right now she seems to have a bit of an edge and a hardness to her. Yeah, T. Nicole, and she's constantly defending him. She is saying, it looks to me like you did this, and then she's turning around and telling everybody else that he couldn't have done it. So, yeah, Amanda's being shady, and like I said, I absolutely think it's entirely possible that she's the right kind of character to bring back for something like this. Because Michelle Morgan's only been back on the show for a little bit. They could bring her back on for this train car mystery, make her a little kooky, and then send her away for a while. Bring her back another time, why not? It's a good idea. Sharon W. says, the 3 actors with the hottest tempers are Nick, Billy, and Devon. The only person with a real motive to kill Damian would be Devon. He was always confronting Damian while in Genoa City about his intentions toward his sister. He carried his anger all the way to Kane's estate, and he remained suspicious of how Damian might treat Lily if their relationship progressed. Oh, Sharon W., now that is interesting. No one has said Devon's name but you. That is great, because it is, and then the second Lily and Damian hook up, ooh, interesting. I like that. I like that a lot. How about this also from Russell? Why haven't we seen Lauren and Michael since the beginning of the trip? Someone needs to do a wellness check on them. No kidding, especially when, there's a crime that's happened. Maybe Michael Baldwin might be helpful. But listen to this. Steven says, le premier suspect, Michael Baldwin. Reasons. Number 1, he wants to ingratiate himself with Victor by killing Kane. He might also have poisoned Cole. Number 2, he is going through withdrawal 6 months after developing a taste for murder after the kidnapping and murder of Ian Ward. When a kidnapper kills their victim, it's murder, not self-defense. Kane's got to bring Chance to the video suite and follow the killer to the Baldwin's Pullman. Oh, maybe would that be crazy if Michael came up from we haven't seen him, heard from him 2 weeks. He had one scene in Nice, and then he comes up the rear being the murderer. That'd be great. Well, Robin says, this storyline regarding Kane and company is so dumb that I just have to fast forward. This is the worst writing in the history of Y&R, and I've watched since 1974. Oh no, Robin. If you're fast forwarding all of the Nice scenes, you're barely even getting to watch any Y&R, because it's all Nice, it's all Kane all the time. And I was actually thinking that this storyline reminds me of that Clear Springs explosion long ago. I should have looked into what year it was. But there was this construction of like a casino resort property that was going on in a fictional town called Clear Springs. And they brought the whole cast up to this new resort casino area. And then there was this huge explosion. And then there was a scenario that basically involved everybody, like who did it, how did it happen. I mean, even Kane was involved in that. So it was a high intensity storyline. It was a big budget storyline, and it ultimately didn't draw in a whole lot of viewers, and it kind of had that same fatigue of like, how much longer do we have to be dealing with this whole Clear Springs mess? I mean, and I said it last week too, it's like, when you take the whole cast to this other location and then you make everything about one thing, it can get exhausting. You lose that variety. So I do understand where you're coming from, Robin. I don't think that this is like the worst storyline in the history. That Clear Springs one was pretty intolerable, but yeah, I feel that I need to be out of Nice within the next couple weeks. I'm gonna need this to be wrapped up within the next couple weeks because it's exhausting me on Kane. I need to be in a position of liking and enjoying and getting to know new Kane, and it's just too much. Connie says, what is wrong with these people? No fight or flight response? A dead man left the maze on a gurney, and none of the Newmans are telling everyone that Adam and Kane got off the mountain. I can guarantee you that I would not be sleeping, eating, swimming, hanging around in a towel, talking or fighting with my fellow travelers. I would be gathering my group, crawling my way up to that chateau, or hot-footing it down the tracks to the town. I'd also be finding anything that would serve as a defense weapon because I'm not going down without a fight. Give us a good old-fashioned disaster survival scene with messed up hair and dirty and torn clothing, and then we can get to the whodunit mystery. Oh, that's so great, Connie. It's so realistic. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Everybody's just kind of like, wow, really? A murder? I mean, a murder 5 feet from me? Yeah, there's no way. I mean, imagine yourself ever going into that maze again. Forget it. I would feel claustrophobic in that train car, too, especially knowing there was a murderer on the loose. I mean, Nikki is not sleeping well in the train. That's for sure. She had a nightmare. Victor's sitting there doing crossword puzzles, thinking of Kane. Victor and his crossword puzzles, but Nikki was sleeping not very restfully. Oh, I have a string of very hilarious comments from Russell, starting with this one. Nikki's sleeping hairstyle was cute. I guess it's pillow proof. Yes, I mean, everyone had to have been looking at that. It was like a pin curl on the side of her head. She puts a pin curl in the side of her head to nap. Oh, I love soaps. Here's another one from Russell. Next week, R2-D2 places Nick under house arrest. Beep boop, sir. R2-D2. That's so good. Dang. Here's another good one from Russell. Why drug them if it's a murder by knife throwing? I mean, yeah, why did we need poisoning and knifing? Either one would have sufficed. Maybe the poisoning was supposed to work and then it didn't, so we had to do the backup with the knife? In retrospect, how creepy is it that Damian probably handled the knife that was going to kill him? Which, by the way, was a nice red herring, because second I saw Damian pick up the knife in the train car, I thought, oh, he's getting his fingerprints on it, and maybe that's exactly what they wanted us to think. It really threw me off the scent. Never would have guessed that knife would have shown up in Damian's back. Final comment from Russell in this string of really funny, and this is my favorite ones. Russell says, Kane has served about 1 million quiches by now. Every day there's been multiple quiches on the table. Every time we're in the maze, I think that, Russell. So many quiches. One full quiche, and the other quiche has one slice taken out. And no one ever eats the quiche. They're always just going for the crudité. It's a beautiful presentation, though. Well, Michelle says Audra was gorgeous in her black and white dress. It reminded me of early original Barbie's outfit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Michelle. And Audra's gorgeous. And somebody else mentioned the I Dream of Jeannie ponytail. Yeah, and it had this, it had a like a pearl bead wrapped around it. Audra's gorgeous. Just so gorgeous. What must it be like to be so gorgeous? Well, Dolores says, how unbelievable and disgusting to watch Kyle talking with Audra with a towel wrapped around his waist. It was obvious that the scene was set to lead them to knocking boots. Audra successfully fulfilling her contract with Victor, and once he let her in, his first move should have been to put on a robe. So, not interesting to watch, as well as so predictable as to what this was all leading up to, happening between them. Oh, yeah, Dolores. I mean, predictable, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, 100%. Him comforting her shirtless in a towel. Yes, it's so predictable. It's so obvious. That's one of the things I appreciated about it. But you make a good point, too, that Kyle has already said he knows Victor's setting him up. He knows he's signed a contract with Victor. That's the thing that makes it so extra dopey. I keep forgetting about that stupid contract. I keep forgetting about that. You're right. It's incredibly boneheaded. Ugh. Michelle has a prediction, though, saying that the double-sided tape they used to hang the towel so low on Kyle gets an Emmy for Best Performance. Oh, yeah, that double-sided tape really was doing its job. That was a sculpted masterpiece, that towel. If you guys could only see my screen caps. Well, final comment comes from Gary, who says, do chatters remember long ago when Y&R was doing the previously on The Young and the Restless? Is it back for good? I was passing by the gates the other day and noticed they were doing the same thing. In Picking Everything to Death, this show airs every day and I can keep up. Once is enough. It seems less immediate to the action and I don't think I like it. Yeah, Gary, I agree with you 100%. I do not want to backslide on this. I never liked that recap. I don't need a recap. I don't want to waste my precious Y&R time with a recap. Like, okay, back in the old days, I've never sounded so old as when I just said that sentence. But back in the old days, when if you missed an episode that aired, you never got to see it again. But, you know, I can understand a previously on Y&R for that. Like, way back, 20 years ago, I could see that as being serviceable. But with most people watching streaming or on demand, or, you know, it's not so odd that, I mean, you're going to be able to get the episode. So I just don't think it's necessary now. So can we just agree that everyone is responsible for keeping up with the story on their own? Whew. I'm telling you, this drama, this level of drama is exactly what I needed this week. Because last Sunday, my dad just had gotten out of the ICU and I was going to the hospital to see him for the first time. First time ever seeing my dad in the hospital. And I recorded my Y&R chat and went up there. And I was up there with him, standing there. I took my tablet with me because I thought, well, if I got to research something, I'm going to take that with me. And, you know, I don't have like a regular smartphone. So I had my tablet with me and I was just sitting with him, you know, just kind of being quiet. And all of a sudden, bling, bling, my tablet goes off. And that's fine. Okay, well, whatever, one notification. And then a couple minutes later, bling. And the whole time I'm sitting there hearing it going off, I'm like, I don't usually have this much activity on the tablet. So I went and I sort of sneakily picked it up and looked at it, and I realized it was all messages from you. It was all Y&R chatter sending, anyway, all the ways you can contact me, messages of support. And I have to tell you, it resonated with me so deeply, and I felt it so completely in that moment. Because it was just this quiet moment, and suddenly I felt very not alone, you know, I really felt that support. So thank you. so much to everybody who sent me messages of support this week. I have read everything, but I have not responded to anything. I've been in the hospital with him every day. I'm so behind on emails. I'm behind on everything. But I got the website updated every single day. And you know what? I feel like no matter what, if I can get home at night and still watch my Y&R and still do my regular routines, that's good for me too, you know? So I felt okay about watching the show, posting my screen caps. And even like Monday was bad. And Damian died. Damian got the knife on Monday, and I was just like, suddenly I wasn't thinking about any of the stuff going on, and it just reminded me that, you know, there's nothing wrong about that escapism, yeah, you know, like all this stuff's going on in real life, but for that 45 minutes or whatever it is, I was right there with Damian's death, and it was therapeutic. Really therapeutic. And I feel similarly about today. Like, you know, even though there's all this stuff going on, I feel like my most myself right now when I'm doing Y&R Chat and talking about the things that I love and I care about. So I think it's important for me to keep up my routines too. He's stable. He is stable, and we are working on moving him to a skilled nursing facility short term. So he, you know, my dad's a lot like me. He's got a real similar personality, spirit. He's quieter than me, but he's a lot like me, and he's got a real strong will. And I think he's got a pretty long road ahead of him, but we're working with him, and I think, and he's humbled by everything that has happened, but he's still trying, he's still fighting, and I believe he can continue to do that. So next week will probably be another crazy week, but after that, I think things will start to stabilize a little bit more. So I'm hoping I can continue everything as normal. My special plans have gotten pushed back a little bit, but I think I'm able to maintain everything as normal as is. But thank you again, everyone, for the support. I didn't expect it, and so it was really impactful to me, and I take your support, and I'm carrying it with me, and it helps, and it makes me feel, you know, I don't have a lot of, like, you know, I don't have like a lot of IRL friends or whatever, but I felt my Y&R friends as real friends this week, and that really was meaningful to me. So thank you again. Thank you again. YRChat.com is the website. We'll continue to update that. What else do I got? YRChat.com/storylines is my email list, hoping to get right back to all my special stuff that I had planned. But if you want to sign up for that, I've got that there. GenoaCitySoap.com if you want to pick up a bonus podcast. And just more than anything, come back next Sunday and we will figure out it all, to the grand reveal of Carter as the murderer, and us all going mer. That's gonna be the thing. It's gonna be Carter's gonna be the murderer, and it's gonna be mer. But the shocking moment of Damian getting the dagger in the back, priceless. You can't top it. Everything else is worth it for that moment, right? Okay, well, I better get going, but I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.